Now, I always find this extremely interesting that, we were doing a session, there was some subtle reactions, stimuli occurring, and then I began to work with the Jehovian seals on the left side of the body. And as soon as I used the command deactivate, her hand started receiving this type of convulsive like stimulation. Now, what I did there was, at first I was only focusing on the upper half, and then I went to the stomach, the left hip, and the left knee. What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. It's your boy Dorian, Fraser, human activated Leptokinetic Healer, and today I just wanted to kind of talk about the Jehovian seals. If you're just now noticing, I did comb my dreads out, and it feels incredible. It was definitely a very liberating process, very cleansing process in a lot of different ways. So I'm just feeling really good and feeling transformed, and it's always a pleasure to reconnect with y'all. So the Jehovian seals are energetic mutations that were done planetarily to this planet roughly 27,000 years ago by invading races, or the fallen, or whatever you want to call them. I try not to get too caught up in the planetary dramas, but this specific mutation that was done plays a huge role in kind of how the body takes in energy, more specifically with how the masculine and feminine energy are synthesizing and kind of going through this process known as a sacred marriage, where the masculine and the feminine energy unify and create kind of this neutral energy. And so basically what happened is these invading races, or the fallen, or whatever you want to call them, they infiltrated the planetary logo, or the consciousness of the planet, and inserted or installed different frequency-based implantation and technologies that obstructed the ascension process, or got in the way of kind of just the natural evolution of consciousness on the planet, really. And one of the things they did was they went along the seventh axitonal line of the planet, which has to do with the seventh chakra, and how the seventh chakra is actually sending out messages to the rest of the chakra system. And they did this because the seventh chakra represents the primary feminine archetype of the energetic system. And so they wanted to create a separation of feminine and masculine energy on the planet, so that they could install patriarchal domination, exploitation-based programming, or literally everything you see in our society down to an institutional level. Even our religions are masculine-based, our societies are patriarchal-based. So one of the things that I've noticed is that if you don't release these seals, or if a person hasn't begun to already naturally release them, or if they have a hard time integrating their feminine energy, that there is no movement. Okay, so I just overrode the Jehovian seals on the left side of the body. And before that, the session was pretty much entirely still, receiving very little stimulation. Soon as we started to pop those seals on the left side of the body, the left arm twitched pretty intensely. There is no feedback, the client will be completely still, and there will be no movement. And I've kind of been able to compare it to like working with two different mediums. When the feminine energy is present, it's like working with fluidity and formlessness, and it's more similar to like a clay. But when there's no feminine energy integrating properly with the masculine energy, then we see what looks like working with a piece of granite. It's stiff, it's very direct, it's very hard to mold, and it takes a lot more effort to get a client to move that is not in tune kind of with that feminine energy. This is something I've seen countless times. One of the main beneficial things I've seen working with this is it can just kind of restore a overall wholeness to a person, or it can restore this overall totality to an individual, embodying both the masculine and feminine traits instead of being polarized in one side. One of the things I've seen it help with especially are women that have had to suppress their feminine energy. I see women that have taken the business route, or kind of that more rigid structure of a career. They tend to lack kind of that just feminine energy, and it's just probably because of the environment that they subjected themselves to. They've had to suppress that femininity, in order to survive. So a lot of times it takes really working with those heals to bring that out in women that have really suppressed that aspect of themselves. Removal of the seals can really help a person that's really rigid become a little bit more flexible. It gives you more access to your creative life force, because that's what the feminine energy is. It is that form of creation. It is that formlessness. Whereas the masculine energy is the direction, or what molds that formlessness and gives it a shape. So when I first started, getting people to exhibit specific responses and specific involuntary reactions, working with the Jovian seals played a big role in that until I discovered more so the importance of the physical electrical system. It was really playing a huge role, and still does play a huge role in quite a bit of people that I work with. So if y'all are interested in experiencing that type of session, a Jovian seal removal, you can always check out our website. Everything will be in the link below and in the description. So I'm really kind of trying to work with as many people as I can, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this for, to be quite honest. Being in school and just where that's leading me or taking me in certain directions that I could have never imagined. So get it in while you can, y'all. I mean, I do love doing this, but Spirit is kind of beginning to lead me to a very interesting place in the cell biology realm. So let's link up. Anyways, it's always a pleasure to be here, and it's always a pleasure to be heard, and to connect with you guys. So as always, wholeness. Until next time.